Let me bring in Sagarika Ghose now, Member of Parliament of the Trinamool Congress. Ma'am, thank you for speaking to NDTV. The Election Commission has now indicated that this exercise, which is happening in Bihar of SIR, which is the Special Intensive Revision, will happen in other states as well, Bengal, Assam and others. Your party colleague, Mahua Moitra, is part of those petitioners who have challenged this entire exercise in the court. What is the Trinamool Congress planning to do?
We are opposed to this special intensive revision exercise of the Election Commission on multiple levels. The first fundamental flaw, the reason why we oppose it conceptually, we oppose it on the basis of principle, we oppose it on the basis of the Constitution, is that its focus is exclusion, not inclusion. SIR is an exclusionary exercise. It is not an inclusionary exercise. It is forcing citizens to undergo a citizenship test. Citizens have to prove their citizenship and prove whether they are eligible to vote to the Election Commission. Now, the Election Commission has to answer, is it trying to clean up electoral rolls, or is it trying to create a voters register? Is it trying to create a citizenship register? Establishing citizenship and establishing a citizenship register is not the job of the Election Commission. The Election Commission is not here to decide who is a citizen and who is not. The Election Commission is only mandated to clean up the electoral rolls and to ensure the sanctity of the electoral rolls. When citizens are producing every proof of their citizenship, how can they be excluded from these electoral rolls? So we are opposing this SIR on a conceptual level, on a principled level, on the point of view of the Constitution, from the point of view of the nasty politics that the BJP is playing through this special intensive revision. I also want to make a second point. All this time, the Election Commission has been going on about linking Aadhaar card. For the last decade, the EC is screaming Aadhaar, Aadhaar, Aadhaar. Suddenly, in this special intensive revision, the Election Commission is saying Aadhaar is no longer adequate proof of citizenship. Then why were you screaming Aadhaar for the last decade? So this is another flaw in this particular special intensive revision. The third is that there is vast empirical evidence now emerging, Maria, that many voters across Bihar, migrants, poor, those who are going in from state to state in search of work, they are finding it difficult to find these documents. They are finding it difficult to furnish these documents that the EC is wanting. They do not have the kind of documents that the EC is demanding. On a practical level, on a physical level, this is a completely misguided exercise. And it is basically an exercise to disenfranchise the poorest. And it is against the basic structure of the Constitution because it is snatching away the right to vote. It is taking away the right to vote. Instead of affirming the right to vote, it is denying the right to vote. Now, the reason why we are going to oppose this tooth and nail in Bengal is because we feel that Bengal is the real target. It is being done in Bihar, but the real target is Bengal. The BJP has lost 2 elections in Bengal, 2021, 2024. Now this is just a conspiracy by the BJP acting through the Election Commission to disenfranchise, take away the right to vote from lakhs of Bengal voters, which is why we're seeing an all-out attack today on Bangla-speaking people. Bangla-speaking migrants across BJP-ruled states are being harassed, they're being detained, they're being put in detention camps, they're being called Bangladeshi, they're being called Rohingya. This is a concerted attempt by the BJP to take away the right to vote from the voters of Bihar and from the voters of Bengal, and they are going to do it across the country. They are basically taking away the right to vote from the poorest of the poor. I also want to make one point, Maria, that in January this year itself, the EC had conducted a detailed revision. The EC in January this year itself had conducted a detailed revision of the Bihar electoral roll. In January this year, in 2025, the EC had conducted a detailed revision of the Bihar electoral roll. What suddenly changed in 6 months that in the monsoon months, suddenly you've decided within 3 months, as Bihar elections are just 3 months away, you're going to go in for this special intensive revision when you've already done a revision in January. So the
Okay,
whole
there
thing
are
is
a lot of
nullified, it is unconstitutional, it is illegal, it is an attempt to deprive the poorest of the poor of the right to vote.
But the Election Commission, ma'am, has said that this is a pure voter list, that a pure voter list has been prepared for a fair election. That's what their defense is, that why should those who are not supposed to be voting in India be given a chance to vote?
But the fact is, the Election Commission is not being transparent, is not being open about this procedure. Do you know that there are 5 documents in the document list that the EC is demanding from people to prove their eligibility to vote? There are 5 documents in this document list which do not actually give place of birth and date of birth. This is a story that has come out in the Hindu. There are 5 documents that the EC is demanding that do not display place of birth and date of birth. So why are they asking for these documents? And why is it that the EC, the Election Commission, is, if it wants to clean up electoral rolls, why isn't it recognizing the trials and tribulations that are being faced by ordinary voters on a daily basis, which the newspapers are reporting on a daily basis? People are not being able to get these documents. So is the idea to clean up the electoral roll, or is the idea to harass and torture people who do not have these documents that the EC is demanding? Also, the arbitrary cutoff date of 2003, which the EC has imposed, that if in 2003 if you were on the electoral rolls, you're fine, but if you voted after that, you're not fine. But the fact is, there have been 5 general elections in Bihar after 2003. There have been 5 assembly elections after 2003. So is the EC suggesting that the voters who have voted in the 5 general elections and the 5 assembly elections after 2003 are fraudulent? Is the Election Commission suggesting that those who have voted after 2003 in the 5 general elections and the 5 assembly elections, are they all fraudulent voters, according to the Election Commission? This whole attempt is to exclude people. It is not an attempt to properly clean up the electoral rolls. If it was an attempt to properly clean up the electoral rolls, then why has the EC not responded to the many instances that the opposition has laid out about electoral roll irregularities, duplicate epic cards? We in the Trinamool Congress have been repeatedly raising the issue of duplicate epic cards. We are raising the issue of duplicate epic cards for the last 6 months. The EC has said it will work on these duplicate epic cards. Nothing has happened so far. So you've not taken action on duplicate epic cards. You've not taken action on the surge of voters that other opposition parties are alluding to, that suddenly the lakhs of voters who have been added to the electoral rolls. You are not attempting to address any of the opposition's concerns. Also, Maria, if the EC was cleaning up the electoral rolls, then a huge decision like this, a massive decision like this, surely you should have called an all-party meeting before you took the decision, before you announced this decision. We are major stakeholders in the electoral process. We are political parties. Why not hold an all-party meeting? Why not hold a dialogue? Why not have a proper dialogue process with all stakeholders? Instead, you just went and announced it in a very clandestine, suspicious manner, which casts suspicions on the motives of the EC.
Since you are saying that the real target is Bengal and it's only happening in Bihar, Tejasvi Yadav has said that the Mahagathbandhan parties may contemplate even boycotting the polls. Is that something that the TMC plans to do as well, or could do, when the elections are held next year?
The Trinamool Congress, from our point of view, we can only comment on what our leader is saying. We will not allow this special intensive revision process to exclude crores and crores of bona fide Indian citizens. We will not allow mass exclusion of Indian citizens. We are already taking up the case of Bangla-speaking migrants who are being harassed in BJP-ruled states. We are taking up the case where where Bangla-speaking migrants are being picked up, they're being put into detention centers, they're being tortured, sometimes they're even being given into the hands of the BSF and pushed into Bangladesh. So we are taking up all these issues. Our stand is perfectly clear. If there are illegal migrants who are coming in, whose responsibility is it? Who guards the borders? Who guards the borders? It's the Border Security Force. Who does the Border Security Force come under? Mr. Amit Shah. Why doesn't Mr. Amit Shah protect the borders? Why doesn't Mr. Amit Shah stop illegal migrants? Why doesn't the Border Security Force stop illegal migrants? They don't want to stop illegal migrants. You are abdicating responsibility of protecting the borders. You can't stop terrorists from coming into Pahalgam and attacking innocent tourists. You can't stop illegal migrants from coming in. But you want to play politics with citizens of India. That is the dirty politics of the BJP. If you really want to protect the borders, then make the BSF stop these illegal migrants from coming in.
Sagarika Ghose, Member of Parliament of the Trinamool Congress, really appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us and sharing your thoughts.